So our group was also working on the Sonos use case and the backdrop of control of multi-room systems. So basically, just to briefly introduce Sonos again, so it is a manufacturer of hardware, wireless home and audio products. So as you can see on the right side in the picture, it's mainly loudspeakers that can be controlled, for example, through a smartphone. The product offering includes whole house audio, which means this is a system that allows you to control music throughout a flat, a house, or entire buildings. And they have collaborations with 3 major voice assistants from Amazon, Google, and Apple. The task that we had for this group was to identify the most applicable megatrends, then to identify use cases within these megatrends to overcome the new digital challenges, and then to search and identify intellectual property rights that are relevant for the particular use case of the control of multi-room systems.
So thank you, Astrid. We at first had to look at the different megatrends that have been identified in the music industry. These have been identified by Deloitte and PwC, but the big question is, what do they actually mean before we decide whether they apply or not? So we've come up with a ranking based on the different definitions that we could find. The first one that we decided was very important for Sonos is security. And IT security is about protecting computer systems from malicious actors and how you would prevent unauthorized access. There are many different cases that are well publicized of breaches of security, so that is a very big megatrend. The second megatrend identified that is relevant for Sonos is personalization. And this is all about how individual users can tailor information to their own specific needs and preferences. And it means that there's less interaction efforts for the customer to find these services and products useful for themselves. The third mega trend that is relevant for Sonos is the experience economy. And this is basically where experience is treated as a commodity rather than a service or something like that. It's basically the seller is a stager and the buyer is the guest on that stage. The fourth megatrend that we decided was relevant for Sonos is ubiquitous availability. And that's basically about digital technologies that are available 24/7 everywhere and all about connectivity. The fifth mega trend, we combined wellness and increased comfort as these can combine in a certain sense. Wellness means different things for different people, but basically it's achieved by a combination of emotional, environmental, mental, physical, social, and spiritual health. Increased comfort can be seen in 2 different ways. It can be seen in the context of increased comfort by a user with particular technologies. So because of their increased comfort to use the technology, they are more willing to use it and engage with it. It can also be seen in the context of increased comfort for themselves in terms of the actual product. So these are the mega trends that we have identified that are most relevant for Sonos, and my colleague will now take over.
Okay, so I'm looking along with Rodrigo at the use cases which can be used by Sonos to overcome the new digital challenges caused by the identified megatrends. So in terms of security, there are several ways to understand this megatrend. In the first instance, it concerns securing computer systems. As Sonos systems have wireless connectivity through Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, it must employ best practices to prevent unauthorized use of its hardware through leaks in software applications. Unauthorized access by malicious actors may lead to an impact on health and well-being. One such technology that may be employed is the distributed ledger technology or blockchain. This technology makes it virtually impossible to hack into a system if it is properly set up and connected to a globally shared security system. Additionally, they offer the opportunity to open up completely new business models by empowering the user and democratizing data sharing, which pose exciting incentive mechanisms. Additionally, imagine Sonos speakers being used to deliver audio for all types of smart home scenarios, such as an electronic doorbell, an intercom system, or as a mechanism to deliver chimes alerting you to the end of the laundry cycle, or maybe as a siren connected to a home security system or to a smoke alarm. Rodrigo will give the next use case, personalization.
Thank you. About the Sonos the personalization, the Sonos Music app offers several ways to personalize the listening experience for users. Three of most common personalization features are playlist, rating, and favorite. It can also sync with the Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, listen to the news, radio, message, and more. However, Sonos goes way beyond its competitor, offering user the ability to pair to Sonos speakers simultaneously in the same room, obtaining a richer and more personalized sound.
Okay, the next mega trend in terms of the use case we'll be addressing is the experience economy. When a person buys an experience, he pays to spend time enjoying a series of memorable events that accompany stages to engage him or her in a personal way. Commodities are fungible, goods are tangible, services intangible, whilst experiences are memorable. There isn't such a thing as a Sonos sound. Like a clear window that lets the light shine through, Sonos is a portal to the world of sonic culture in your home. And that is a reference from Pine and Gilmore, their book, The Experience Economy.
Yes, about the ubiquitous availability, Sonos is a company that constantly maximizes in distribution capacity. So much so that people who make purchase in the online store can have their order within the first 3 working days. Sonos is available in more than 18 countries around the world, with the option of shipping worldwide with the DHL.
And finally, in terms of, we combined increased comfort and wellness in terms of the use case. So listening to music while training, studying, or working, for example, cause people to perform better physically and mentally, leading to emotional health.
Thank you, Erica. So next is we are talking about the relevant IP rights to get the ideal position in case of the business. So what is in the center of the stage is the application, because we rely on the application to fulfill the function of multi-room controlling. And what comes first is about the design rights to protecting the user interface, which you can see a picture in the left side. And please go ahead. And at the same time, do not forget we are a hardware manufacturer, which means we produce the speakers. And concerning the outlook and the shape of the speaker is still very important to us. So we also find some design rights for our speakers. And on top of that, we file some design rights for the display stand, which is similar. You can find a similar stuff in the IKEA about the layout, and we show in the showroom. And what comes next is about the brand, which is also very important. On top of the classic logo like Sonos. We also have some more dynamic pictures, as you can find in the first picture. And also regarding to some terms of the quality of the sound, we have some Sonos beam. And then regarding to the microtrend, we identify for the wellness, we have so-called sound healing, and also a multi-room controlling, which means synchronization is also a setting point for us. So we have a specific mark for that. And please go ahead. So even though we are a hardware manufacturer, but at the same time, we provide you some premium service as well. So the service is called Sonos Radio, which is not exactly the same with Spotify. Just you heard from the first two groups. So what here we provide you is a monthly subscription service. And here we also provide you a playlist according to your generation, mood, and the status, which means whether you are happy or you are sad, we can give you a playlist to cheer you up. And also, by the way, this is also the way that we collect your data. For example, like my taste of music for sure is different from my 5-year-old daughter as well. And so this kind of playlist, this is collection of the list is a certain topic can be monopolized by the copyright. And also the exclusive programming can be protected by the trade secrets in terms of programming codes. And I let Russell to explain you more regarding to the patents.
Thank you. So in addition to the rights identified there, patent rights have been used by Sonos to position themselves as being a provider of whole house audio, or as we discuss in this, the multi-room system use case. The patents have been used to create barriers to competitors and alter the market by exclusion of others to allow a price premium to be charged for the Sonos devices. As one of the first music systems to allow multi-room audio without wires between the speakers, the lead time value then has been sought to be retained by exclusivity of core customer aspects via patents as shown there, the speaker synchronization system, controlling systems, and application operating logics. Additionally, patents related to voice assistants to allow voice interactions with internet devices have been filed by Sonos. This complements their collaborations with the kind of three major voice assistants, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Apple Siri. And this fits well with the mega trends of personalization, ubiquitous availability, and the experience economy. From the slide shown at the moment, we can see from this chart of Sonos patent applications as represented by their patent classification codes, describing the technical effort then that Sonos has put into particular areas, that a significant proportion is in relation to the electrical digital processing. And this includes transfer and conversion of data between devices. So essentially the multi-room systems, for example, between speakers and other devices such as lighting, televisions, etc. And then looking at the next slide, we can see really the importance of the use case for control of multi-room systems in relation to the rights of others and a lawsuit between Sonos and Google. So as I mentioned, Google had worked with Sonos to allow integration of the Google protocols onto in Sonos to allow them to access Google Play and music streaming services on Sonos. However, following this collaboration, Google launched Chromecast Audio, which was a multi-room system, and Google sought to really gain value in appropriation via data collection of the users. But there was a risk then to Sonos that the Google apps would take over in terms of the user interaction with Sonos devices and lead to a kind of perceived value decrease for the Sonos hardware. This would obviously decrease the value proposition for Sonos. In view of this, then Sonos and their patent position, Sonos was able to compete with a far larger play in the market and alleged that Google had infringed the kind of 5 patents there relating to kind of setup, control, synchronization of multi-room speaker systems so that it could try and retain its market position. Interestingly, Google had then asserted patents in relation to digital rights management against Sonos. So even in that case, it seems that the Sonos IP rights give them an ability to stay in the market against bigger players, for example, via cross-license. Obviously, Amazon would be in this market as well. So in summary, it seems as if Sonos has utilised patent rights along with other IP rights to obtain exclusivity in the multi-room use case. They've then built a brand name and recognition of their hardware through designs and sought to protect this via trademark and design registrations. And this has allowed them to have a price differential to be obtained. Thank you.